This is a summary. In fact, I think it's probably the only bit of hard data in the Wiltshire Council Emergency Climate Saving Plan. It's one of the few pages that has some numbers on it. The Department B's Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy produced this data, and a few weeks ago I luckily spoke with the man at Ricardo Consultancy who spent since 2005 pulling it all together. And he said, you know, he's got this estimate which suggests that about a third of the impacts around the county are from the act of doing business. But of course it says transport's 45%, lumps it into one big pot called transport. I got some data which analysed the type of vehicles on the motorways, the roads and the minor roads. And then I did some estimates saying, well, most HGV, heavy goods vehicles, are probably doing transport for business, and a certain amount of light goods vehicles are actually moving business stuff around. And then when I applied that, I got a big slice of the transports actually to do with business. Over half of direct climate emission in the county are related to the act of doing business. Three main work areas we're trying to get stuck into. Quite a lot of work being done on getting on with the research and analysis of the big hitter firms. In terms of identifying the big hitter companies, i.e. firms operating in the county who have a significant climate emissions impact, we've now got a list of about 50 named organisations who we think may be potentially large big hitter firms and worthwhile doing some investigation. To begin with, the absolute focus is on doing these three things. Try and create some sort of report that highlights both good and bad practice by businesses in the county, pull that together into some sort of relevant set of data about the climate impact that those organisations are having. And whilst we're doing it, we hope to identify good tools that we can take to businesses to help them work on how they better manage their own climate impact. We aim to produce a report that has some validity and credibility. It's quite important that we do our homework in how do you answer the question, is the firm I'm currently investigating having a major impact on the environment, and is there evidence that the managers and the stakeholders in the organisation are trying to do their bit about the way they mitigate and change their business activity to produce a much lower carbon future. So there's been quite some good work done on this to come up with what we're calling the business assessment matrix, a whole list of questions, a scoring system which gives them a red, a amber or green on how well we think their policy or actions are. And then the idea is that we use publicly available data about the organisations to populate that matrix for each firm. Just to give you a feel for this business assessment matrix, this is the type of thing. This is the section on policy at the moment we put together. What I'm also discovering is as we go through the work, we're building up quite a useful database of all the different resources and guides and standards and certificates and stuff that's out there. And that in itself is quite a useful thing that you could take into an organisation and say, look at all the things you could be using. The big problem I've got, I think, at the moment is willing volunteers. There's a job to be done. We've got a list of 50 organisations. My initial guess is it could take 1 to 2 days to do a decent job of investigating one organisation. So if you want to be a citizen eco-nomist researcher, please give me a shout.